I'm back. It has been a hot minute. Let me just send out a frickin' tweet real quick. Eh? I'm already getting notifications. Shoot, I was still tweeting. Tristan, 6999, a bunch of numbers, 69995. Thanks for the follow. And hello, Numu. I'm just getting set up here. It's been a hot minute since I streamed. Getting back into the swing of things with some game dev as I start up a new project. Should be a fun game if I manage to finish it this time around. I just yoinked this player control script from a project I've been working on, like a paid project, since I made it myself, so why not reuse it? It's a good enough third-person controller. Although apparently it's not finding the ground right now. Why not then? What's wrong with the floor? Floor. So it's gonna have to get this alt tabbing, make sure I'm going right between the two things. Okay. There we go. Much better. Alright, so it's checking the ground. It's not finding the ground. Why not? Why ain't it finding the ground? Why is my camera clipping through the floor? It's supposed to have a check so it doesn't do that. Oh well. I didn't expect it to work completely out of the box after just cannibalizing it into another project. So let's see. No ground found. Why no ground found? Ground is found like this. We do a sphere cast from transform.position. Transform.position on this object is... I wonder if the issue is that it's like in the ground or something. What if I snub this down a smidge and move the whole thing up? Maybe the issue is just that it's starting the raycast in the ground. Yep, that was in fact the issue. Okay, well then, that is an easy fix. So I'm pretty sure this needs to be under the capsule. So let's do that. Yeah. Alright, so the start position of the ray just needs to be up a little bit. So we'll just say transform.position plus vector 3 dot up times 0.5. So that should raycast more from, like, I think around here-ish. And now we get a consistent returning result of a very, very small number. That's not right. Should not be able to jump that much. Oh, I can keep jumping. Is it the hover value? Is that the issue? Was the hover value too high? The hover value is basically just serves the purpose of, like, if you hold jump, you'll get a farther jump. Oh yeah, I can totally axe these prints so they stop spamming now that this is working. What? Did I not just... Oh, whoops. Right, didn't get rid of that one. Silly me. The one that was spamming the most, because they couldn't collapse since they were printing different distances. But yeah, the fact that it's like a crazy negative exponent makes me think that means that there is like no distance to the ground from wherever it's raycasting. Wow, yeah, that is like damn near. Alright, so then what if I make the ground threshold like 0.3? You know what, for test we need this to be on an angle. So let's just swoop this to like 44, which is the most extreme angle I should be able to move on. Because at 45, then it starts fucking... Oh, my lord. I just start bouncing if I even tap movements. What's going on here? That's crazy. Alright, well, let's see. So what is the ground distance on a crazy slope? 0.17. Alright, then let us make the ground threshold the ground distance tolerance 0.2. Nice. So now I can figure out what the hell that bouncing stuff was. So let's put this at 15. This at 30. And this at 45, which should no longer be walkable. Give that a bit of a testaroo. Yeah, so it seems like if I stop on a slope, I do a little swoopty. I wonder if that's because of my really high set deceleration. If I lower this to 3. That's only going to get more and more noticeable on a high slope. That's so weird, yeah. It's like my vertical velocity is not being dampened. It's not like decelerating at all. What's up with that? So I'm going up this much and I'm also going sideways. And then when I stop going sideways, that up momentum is kept, which it should not be. So where does it apply deceleration? Alright, deceleration, right, so it does not decelerate on the Y because that causes issues with falling. But I actually do need to decelerate on the Y if I'm moving up. I think is the vibe here. But then that would probably screw with jumping. Well, let's just try it and see exactly how it behaves. So new velocity equals that. New velocity times equals that. Y equals this. Alright, so then we'll say if new velocity dot y is less than 0, which means it's negative, which means you're moving down, then maintain it. Like, don't decelerate it, or I'll just float forever. Or at least I'll fall really slowly. But this way, if it's going up, it won't do that. It'll actually properly apply the decelerated one. So let's see if that works. First and foremost, can I still jump? Not very well. And if I increase the jump height, 50. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. But let me see that at least fixes the issue. Yeah, it does. Except that's, you still like, I don't want that to happen. I don't know what to do about that. I might have to do some kind of complicated shit like checking the normal of the ground. But that sounds like a pain in the ass, so I don't think I will do that. I'll just figure out some other solution to this later because it's not the priority right now. The thing works, so let's not break it. It may not work perfectly, but it doesn't need to work perfectly yet. Polish stages can come later. Okay. I think for added fun, I'm not even going to mention what kind of genre or game this is even going to be. And thus, you can just kind of see it take shape in real time. Won't that be fun? Let's make a... I need to import ProBuilder. Package Manager. Unity Registry. ProBuilder. Get that boy in here. So how y'all doing on this fine middle of the night? Let's just keep that up there, put this here. Okay, so many windows to deal with. I got this one, which has my model and stuff. I got the OBS, I've got the game dev, I've got the code. Got a lot of windows to deal with, eh? Alright, ProBuilder, and then also just a browser window for general Twitter checking and whatnot. It is the life, ain't it? Okay. ProBuilder should now be packages. Yeah, sweet. Alright, so window. ProBuilder. Actually, I think I should make a game object, 3D object. No, ProBuilder. Let us start with a cube. Get rid of this fake floor. Open ProBuilder. Actually, you know what? Let's just keep this thing position 0. And then face view, select them all, move them here, move it here. Then there is, let's see, center pivot. Nice. Okay. Now we make us a big fancy floor. So first things first, cube needs to be a smidge bigger. I'm basically just going to make a quick little temporary placeholder map for testing all the various mechanics I'm going to need to add. It's not exactly going to be a quality piece of, you know, level design. But it will accomplish the goal it sets out to at the very least. Okay. Edge, select this edge. Go ahead and give me an edge loop. Over here. And then another one. Right here. Let's get some here. And whoops. Oh, didn't mean to do that one there. Here. Sure. Alright. Gonna kinda whoops. Center. Kinda squish this all in. Pull up these edges, making this kind of like a little valley. Yeah, nice, cool, fun. Just get some nice little irregularities in here. Don't want it to just feel like a box. And there we go. We got us a little placeholder shtick. I'm Gonna need a base area for my shit and a spawn area for enemies. Which tells you those are gonna be a thing. Extrude faces. Swing. And then let's do each of these separately for funsies. Yeah, let's get some of that going on. This will be like the center big one. Ooh, big scary things coming from there. Nice. Let's get all these faces to be nice and in line. Alright, that will do. We got us a little thingamadoo. Okay, you know what, just for funsies, let's get all of this, extrude it, bring it over here, flatten it, rotate it, do the same thing over here, just so this doesn't look like some weird squished floating platform, even though that's exactly what it is. But you know, no reason we can't put a little fantasy behind our testing areas, you know? Variety is the spice of life, as they say. Alright. I'm content with that. So let's slap the player over here in this sort of basically a base area. Facing this way. And then let's just head over here. Game object, 3D object, sphere. Slap this thing in, like, ooh, it's a big ass enemy portal or something scary. Who knows what it could be? It does not need a collider. Oh yeah, I kind of want to flatten these in so this is more in line with a path. Well, that's fine. This isn't a real level. It doesn't have to look like it has perfect flow. So now, basically, I need to do nav meshing, which is to say I need to make this a nav meshable area and this not. How do I do that with a pro builder, like with a single object? Huh, never really thought about that. Well, let's see. Window, navigation, AI, navigation. Oh yeah, and then inspector, this needs to be object navigation static. Walkable, yes. Bake the nav mesh. Cool. Alright, so now the whole area is walkable, but how do I limit things? I mean, like, I can always just place nav mesh obstacles to limit it, but that seems like a crude way of going about it. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. I mean, I could really just heavily decrease the max slope, but that would be an issue with these potentially sloped areas, so I don't want to do that. Areas. Oh, can I, like, paint areas with this? Built into... Alright, let's see. Off path. What's this? I don't know. What's this number? What does it mean? Oh well. Agents, big object, navigation area. Oh, I see. So basically that just lets you set what type of area the whole specific object is. Well, that doesn't really help me at the moment. So I think for now I'll just do it the lazy way, which is to make just a cube or something. Get rid of that. F. just make it a big ol' thing here. Navigation static, area not walkable. And then I think if I bake now, yeah, okay, so that will just chop off all that. Perfect. So now I can just go in a nice easy top-downy view, pull this over here, line this up. Totally lose track of where it's supposed to be lined up. I guess they're kind of like funneling into this path here actually, so we'll just do it like this. Okay. Nice. Let's get a nice top view. I don't need to be too precise with this because once again, it's just some random bullshit testing level. Make sure it just chops all the way off. I guess nothing's going to try and path anywhere else there. So, I can just do that probably fine. And then I'll just go ahead and run this the rest of the way off. Let's go into real flat view. And then do the same. Oh, come on. Whatever, that's fine. There. Okay, let's just call these nav walls. Turn off their mesh renders so you can't see them. They're all navigation static, not walkable. So now if I bake, they need to have a mesh renderer, or do they need to have colliders or something? I mean, yeah, they probably have to have one of those things, duh. But which is it? Okay, looks like it's that. Sweet. So now I can, in fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and just add a debug layer, which means then I can now just go to the main camera, and say it does not show the debug layer. And now all these nav walls, in fact, you know what? What's the name of this? Let's call this level geometry portals, and just shove all this stuff under here. Select all these, put them on the debug layer, and now if I actually run the game, you can't see them. And you can walk through them just fine. But as far as navigation is concerned, they're impassable walls. Cheeky. Okay. What to go about next? I guess make some kind of placeholder base here. Game object, 3D object. Let's make it a cube. Everyone loves a good cube. That's my base. Don't go destroy it, please. I need it. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice. So now, if I were to say, make another capsule, call this enemy, give it a nav mesh agent and a Pathfinder script. All that needs to do is say, take this object, give it a tag, this is our base, and this just needs to say at start. I'll clean this up eventually so it doesn't need to do a find because this is messy. In fact, you know what? Let's not be lazy, I'll just do it now. Base. There we go. Now I have a nice little reference to it. So this can just say on start, and it's going to have a public. Alright, I have to say using Unity Engine.ai. So now I can go public nav mesh agent mynav and say at start mynav dot set destination base dot instance. What? No. Oh, whoops. Silly me. Dot instance dot transform dot position. Boom. Now they always have a nice little reference they can use to find out where the base is and set the destination. So now we slap in prefabs, create folder, enemies, enemy. We got this little enemy fucker here now. I'm not going to bother changing any of his details yet. I can change those later. And now let's make a C# script enemy spawner. Okay, let's do this. Let's make a public struct wave spawns, and this needs to be system.serializable so we can see it in the editor. Alright, so wave spawns contains public game object enemy type and then public int enemy count. Actually, you know what? We're going to do this even crazier. We're going to say public spawn. No, that's too generic. Public. What do we want to call this? This is for the individual thing that's going to contain those two, and then this is just going to be a list of them. Let's see. Enemy spawn. Oops. Struct. Enemy spawn, also serializable. Alright, so then wave spawns just needs to contain, for now it's just going to be an array of enemy spawns, but there is going to be other things in there later, hence why this is getting its own struct and not just being a single enemy spawn variable. Spawns. I guess we'll say spawn counts. Yeah? I think that works. So basically, I want each one to be able to have multiple... Yeah, you know what? Let's just do it and see if it works. Public wave spawns, my spawns. Great. And then this needs to be an array because there's multiple waves. Cool. So now, let's just put that on the main portal. Add one, and in there, we now have wave. So we have separate waves, and then in those separate waves, we have the separate spawn counts. So this is going to be, for example, you could have, you know, this could be an orc, and you could spawn 50 orcs, and this could be a goblin. You could spawn 50 goblins, etc. For now, it spawns enemy. 15 of them. Oh yeah, that's another thing we'll need in here. Public float spawn rate. Put that there. So which is how often we want it to spawn one of its things until its count is empty. So in this case, I want them to spawn these every 1 second. Nice. Okay. How to go about timing that exactly, though? I think each one's going to need its own actual timer float. So, not just the spawn rate, but the float timer. I don't know if I'll even actually be able to increment that. That might be a pain in the ass. Let's see. For each, and you know what, we're going to need a public int current wave equals 0. Wave spawns current wave in my spawns. Oh yeah, I'm already using the name current wave right up there. Duh. Just say spawns. In my spawns current wave. No, is that not right? Does not contain a public instance or extension definition for get enumerator. We'll just use a normal for loop then. For int I equals 0, I less than my spawns current wave dot spawn counts I no dot enemy count. Yeesh. Or no, wait. Dot wait. So spawn counts. That's a list of these. So yeah, I just want to know how many spawn counts are in that. So why can I not say dot length? Multi-tiered arrays blow up my brain sometimes. Maybe this is too complicated a way to go about this. I think it'll be fine once I sort it out, though. So wait. Oh, dot. No? Alright, my spawns current wave dot length. Is this what I need? This is an array. Why is there no dot length? Oh, right, because I'm not just doing my spawns. So yeah, my spawns, current wave. So in this case, we'd be calling my spawn 0, which contains... Oh, jeez, my brain. Let me just look at this in the UI and see if it helps me wrap my head around it. So I'm trying to get into my spawn 0 and then find the length of spawn counts. Yeah. Spawn counts dot. Oh, right, it's because I was putting in the fucking square brackets. Like an idiot. I++. Yeesh. I'm dumb. Alright, so my spawns, current wave, dot, spawn, yeah, spawn counts, I, dot, oh, can that not be referenced if it's not public? That makes sense. But I don't need to be able to fuck with that in the editor, so we'll say that. Dot timer minus equals time dot delta time. And then if this is less than or equal to 0, then that becomes equal to that dot spawn rate. So if the timer hits 0, set it back to its spawn rate so it starts counting down again, and then spawn a thing. So instantiate my spawns dot current wave dot spawn counts I dot enemy type at transform dot position, transform dot rotation, and then this dot enemy count minus minus. Take one away. We spawned it. All right. That took me a second to wrap my head around, but yeah, that should be good. So they'll each have their own little timer ticking away, reducing it by time.delta time, which is just the time since last frame. So that just means this is constantly ticking downwards in real time. So with 1 second, this will hit 0 every second. It hits 0, it gets set back up, the thing gets spawned, the enemy count gets reduced, and then yeah, well, let's see. Ah, right, so we can do something like this as well. So if my spawns current wave dot spawn counts I dot enemy dot enemy count equals 0. Fuck, I always forget how to, like, say skip this part in the loop. Skip one loop C#. Brain. It's like a... Oh yeah, continue. It's literally just continue. Which my brain told me it was, and then I refused to believe because I didn't think it would be that simple. Continue? Yeah. Whoops. This is supposed to be an if. Duh. Alright, so if there's nothing left to spawn in this one, just skip over it. Don't bother dealing with all this checking. Just carry on to the next enemy type in the spawn list for that wave. So that was rather complicated to get in, but we got it in. So now this should spawn 15 enemies at a rate of 1 every second. They should immediately spawn here and start trying to path their way over here. Let's find out. Wait, no, I forgot something. I didn't actually give them the Pathfinder script and assign the nav mesh agent. That would have been silly. They would have just spawned there and started existing. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how that works. Ah. Oh, they're spawning. Yeah, they're spawning at a rate of 1 per second. But where are they? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. I didn't put the base script on the base. Silly me. That explains so much. Well, guess I can't expect to get everything right on the first try. Oh my god, it's working. It's only bloody working. Alright, so now, let's just see if I copy component, paste it on these as well, save the scene, and run. My god, would you look at that? We got some enemies spawning and pathing their way over. Love me some nav meshes, so easy to use. Bit of a ball ache when scenes start getting real complicated, but it's still simpler than other methods of manual navigation. That shit's a pain. So I will need to add some variation, you know, like where horizontally they come out, make sure they don't all just straight line it like this, because that looks kind of jank. But, you know, I mean, they're getting there. They're doing it. They're doing the thing. That's pretty cool. We like that, you know? I think that's pretty pog. They're coming for me. I have no defenses yet, nor any weapons. Thankfully for me, the base also doesn't have health. So they're all just gonna kind of bunch up inside it. Monka-S indeed, my friend. Oh, they've shoved me out of the way. And now they're all just gathering up inside the base. There they go. It's real fun, actually, what happens when you get a bunch of units trying to nav to the exact same point. Which is that they all kind of just mash into each other and then start spinning in a circle. Not very useful to anyone, but thankfully in the, you know, ideal finished version, they would just start attacking the thing as soon as they get near it. Yeah, so basically, instead of all navving to a specific point, they're going to be navving to just like, you know, a point on it to hit it, and then they'll be spawning from a random point around this, which will kind of help the whole straight line thing, make it look a bit less jank. In fact, I'll just do that now. So right now, they spawn at exactly transform.position, which is just the exact position of the object spawning them, the object with the script on it. So we're gonna say transform.position plus transform.left, I guess dot right, yeah, dot right, times random dot range minus 3 F, and we want this specifically to be floats so that it can get decimal numbers in between there, not just whole numbers. Otherwise, that's not that many spawn angles. So now it should add a random amount of right or left distance from the center of the portal, from where they spawn. Wouldn't that be cool? Actually, you know, I think Z is forward. I think I squished these in a weird way, so actually make that transformed off forward, and then it'll probably work. That's better. Yeah, much better. In fact, let's make that a tweakable value. So we're going to say public float spawn position variance equals, we'll start it at 5, and then just say minus spawn position variance positive spawn position variance. So if it's 5, then they can spawn between minus 5 and 5 from the origin point. Very good. Very good. Yes. Oh, it's looking more broken up and better already. More like a horde and less like an orderly line of people coming to fuck up my shit. Love it. All right. So now I need to figure out some way to make them not all try and congregate around the center. How do I do that? Well, I guess that's easy enough. Basically, I'll just add like a bunch of sub-transforms in a list. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so base open the script. Let's see. Public transform array attack points. And then we want a public vector3. Oops, no. Get random attack point. Yeah. So this is going to just return attack points random.range 0 attack points dot length. Yeah? Oh, right. Need a close parenthesis there. Heh. Cannot convert. Oh, right. Dot position. We need to return the position from the random attack points transform. Cool. So now, if I say 3D object, sphere, make that a lot smaller, and then I say put one here. It doesn't need to have a mesh collider. I'll keep a renderer there for just reference. In fact, you know what? Let's just really jam these in. Make sure there's plenty of places they can try and attack. It's a working title, but there's a very real chance that, like with all working titles, it just ends up becoming the real title because I get used to saying it. Probably not, though, because it'd be a pretty shit title for an actual released game. Alright, so now, lock this bad boy, select all these, drag them in there, unlock it, and then Pathfinder. Instead of just getting the position, we instead want to say set the destination to base.instance.getRandomAttackPoint. Booyah. And now for somewhat quicker testing, let's just go ahead and up their speed from 3.5 to 10 so they get there a little quicker, and give it a whirl. Ooh, speedy fuckers. Nice. Yeah, see, they're kind of like hoarding up a bit more here instead of just each going in a straight line once they get around the corners, which I like. Now that feels like a proper horde, doesn't it? And then they're all just going to kind of bunch up around this bitch and start trying to wail on it. Yarg. Oh, yeah, that's better. That's good. I like that a lot. That looks like a proper problem now. Or where did I end up? They just shoved me in there. They just kind of shoved past me. Very good. All right. These attack points can have their renderer turned off. Don't need to see them. Peachy. Now, what to add, what functionality to work on next? Eventually this is going to be multiplayer, so at some point during this process, I'll have to bite the bullet and actually start implementing the multiplayer stuff. But I don't want to do that right now. It's 1 a.m. I'm not that crazy. Like hell, I'm dealing with network multiplayer at 1 a.m. What should I add next? I could say player attacking, but that's kind of a lot of work because it needs animations and all kinds of hit registry. Oh, I could do the enemies actually. So the enemies need to focus the player if the player is close enough to them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, basically, eventually I want them to prioritize this walkable path. Like, they won't choose to walk off it, but like, you know, if you're standing over here on the hill and bonking on them, then they need to actually turn over and be able to walk off the path to hit you. So I'm going to need to figure out how to do that eventually. There will be range and melee. There's going to be a lot of different weapons, and they're going to have talent trees and shit, and it's going to be a lot of work. Because I'm insane and don't know the meaning of the word scope creep. That's a lie. I exactly know the meaning of the word scope creep. And yet I choose to ignore it. Okay, yeah, let's make the enemies target players. Alright, so, enemy. Let's just do this stupidly simple. Ah, fuck, maybe not. Maybe? So either I make, basically, a big sphere. A big invisible sphere around them that is a trigger, and if the player enters that trigger, then they turn and attack. Alternatively, I just make their pathfinding script run a distance check from them to the player, and then if that distance is below a certain threshold, then they turn and attack the player. There's going to be a lot of these enemies potentially on screen at once. I'm talking like Orcs Must Die, Dungeon Defenders levels. So, it's important to use whichever one is most performance efficient. Problem is, I don't know which one is most performance efficient. So I guess I'll just have to pick one, and then maybe eventually try the other one and see which one lags less. For now, let's keep it simple. Let's use the trigger. You know what? Actually, I can think of a way to make that use less checks. So, we go to the physics manager. Actually, first we need to give it a layer. So add a layer. We're going to call this enemy aggro trigger. Sweet. So this sphere is the aggro trigger, and it is on the layer enemy aggro trigger. So now we go into the physics settings, and in here, enemy aggro trigger only interacts with player body and nothing else. So it'll only ever run trigger shit if it detects something on the player body layer. It won't bother checking every other collider that passes through it, which is going to be a lot. And the only thing that's ever going to have the player body layer is obviously the player. So, Peachy. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we're now going to need a project. Who's messaging me on my phone, and is it important enough for me to care about? Oh, cheeky Twitter follower. Always nice. Okay, scripts, gameplay, enemy, aggro trigger. This might be getting a bit too compartmentalized, but maybe not. Maybe it's fine. Public, Pathfinder. Actually, you know what? So the Pathfinder is literally just what's doing the pathfinding. And then I'm going to have a separate script for the enemy's actual AI things. And then that's going to tell the Pathfinder. God, as I was saying, this is getting too compartmentalized. Maybe that's dumb. Maybe I don't do any of that. No, fuck it, I'm doing it. Alright, create C# script. Enemy AI base. Welcome to near psychopathic game development with Dula, who can't make up her mind. Public, Pathfinder, my navigation. Nah, we'll just call it my Pathfinder. Because my nav makes it feel more like it's referencing a nav mesh agent. Alright, so my Pathfinder. And then this has to have a public enemy AI base. So then the other enemy AI scripts for specific enemy types can just extend enemy AI base. And this will still be able to deal with them. So then this just needs to have a public bool player in aggro range. There will eventually be some other checks, like I don't want them just all immediately turn towards you once you're near them, but you know, I'll probably basically do a smaller trigger that makes them immediately attack you, and then a bigger trigger where if you're in it and you attack them, they'll attack you. So I probably will end up switching to distance checks, honestly. Yep, you know what? I just convinced myself. I'm going to distance checks, which means I don't need this aggro trigger script. And I don't need this aggro trigger. It'll just be easier because then I can keep things in one script. Go away, you don't exist anymore. Alright, so then instead we have a public float hard aggro distance threshold equals, I don't know, like 1 if you're like right up on them, and then a public float soft aggro distance threshold, which can equal like 5. So if you're within 5 and you attack them, then they'll aggro, and if you're within 1, they'll just aggro, period. So then I can just say void distance check. How hard is it to not capitalize an H? Okay. And then we'll just have a read-only serialized field float distance to player. And then for now, all this needs to do is say distance to player equals vector3 dot distance transform dot position player control dot instance dot transform dot position. So just get the distance between this object and the player controls object, and then we just need to run that every frame in update. Eventually I could do some shit if I really need to optimize, like where it only runs, you know, once every second or something like that, because it doesn't necessarily need to be immediately updated. Fun. Alright. And then after it does distance check, we can do some other checks to see, like, you know, hey, am I within aggro bullshit? Like, basically say, like, read-only. So shit, maybe I don't even make this read-only. Well, yeah, I know, it can be read-only either way, but actually no, because I'm going to need to fuck with it now for testing. So let's just say public bool attacked by player recently equals false. Nice. Okay. So after distance check, we're going to do aggro check, which doesn't exist yet. So the first thing that's going to check is if distance to player is less than hard aggro threshold, then read only serialized field public bool aggroed. I'll just call it aggro. Alright, so if it's just within the hard aggro threshold, aggro equals true. And then else if distance to player is less than soft aggro distance threshold and it was attacked by player recently, then aggro equals true. And then else, so if neither of those are true, aggro equals false. Simple. Love it. Okay. Yeah, that seems peachy. And let's just say header debug. No, wait, that's totally wrong. I typed that out wrong. Debug, and then up here we'll have header references, and then header stats, because eventually like their health and all that shit will be in here too. So now with those headers, just makes things a little bit more organized. Invalid token void. Oh, whoops. Public. This isn't real anymore. I deleted this script. Did it somehow get resaved? Get out of here. Leave. You're not welcome. Alright. So now I've got my... What? Why is it not updating? Oh, no, wait, that's not... that's the Pathfinder script. I never added the enemy AI base. Okay, so now it's got references, it's got stats, and it's got debug. Nice little organization. Okay. And then let's drop their speed back to 3.5 so they don't just sprint past me or rush me again. Or in general, not again. They haven't rushed me at all before. So now I run over here. I didn't actually tell them what to do if they're aggroed, so I guess I'll just pause. So this, yeah, you know what? For easier testing, let's just say, all right. We're going to need a bool aggroed last frame equals aggro, so we can tell if they pick up or drop aggro. So now at the end here, if aggro and not aggroed last frame, then my pathfinder dot my nav dot set destination actually, you know what, let's just do, since I already have a separate pathfinder script, let's just make a nice function for it. So we'll say public void target base. All target base needs to do is do this. So at start, this now calls target base. I was indeed ignored. All right, there. So target base, and then public void target player. Which does the same thing, except instead of base.instance.getRandomAttackPoint, it is player control dot instance dot transform dot position. Yeah, peachy. All right, so if you're now aggroed and you weren't last, actually, I guess this needs to happen every frame you're aggroed because the player can move. So just if you're aggroed at all, then my nav. I didn't make them public, did I? No, I did. My nav dot target. Oh wait, no, it's right. My pathfinder dot target player. Boom. And then if not aggro and I was aggroed last frame, since this only needs to happen once, my pathfinder dot target base. If you drop aggro, go back to trying to get to the base. Sweet. Alright, let's make player a bit faster. Max sprint speed 15. Just get me in there quicker. Meow. Alright, in this case I can just test it like this. Maybe the threshold is too low? Let's see. Alright, so you here, where's the player at right now? They're all capsules. Okay, that's me. So your threshold needs to be, let's say, 3. And then the soft aggro can be 10. You can also be 3, 10. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. What's that? My pathfinder.targetPlayer. Oh, did I not set their pathfinder? Project, prefabs, enemies, enemy. Huh, would you look at that? Never set that. Whoops. Let's add an idiot check here. If my pathfinder equals null, then my pathfinder equals get component pathfinder. So if I didn't manually set it, just picked up the one that's already on the object. That way even I can't screw it up. Alright, and then we'll go 3, 5. Let's go 2, 5. Yeah, 2, 5. This time for sure. It has to work. It just has to. Hey, he's going for me. And he's going for me. Nice. So I have to get like right up on him right now to be within that too, which is kind of fine. That's what I intended. But now let's say I make this guy in the front count as being attacked by me recently. Then he should aggro from farther. Nice. Yeah. Would you look at that? You could probably even do with being a bit farther. Alright, so I'm going to say then project, prefabs, enemies, enemy. Let us say the default will be 3 and 10. Hell yeah. So now they can target me, but they can't attack yet. But that's fine, because I'm going to need, you know, animations and things for that. So now I've got cheeky little waves. They all try and gather around and attack the base. They spawn. It's great. We can have multiple waves. Oh yeah, that means we're going to need some kind of alive enemy counter to track the waves. Let's make a wave master script. Alright. So, let's have a public static wave master instance. Void awake instance equals this. And then we're going to have a public int spawned enemy count. Nice. Okay. And then in the enemy AI base, we are going to have in start wavemaster.instance.spawned enemy count ++, and then void death will say wavemaster.instance.spawned enemy count --. So right now this will just track, you know, how many enemies are currently alive. And then we can have another public bool wave in progress, just so whatever shit this script ends up doing isn't doing it while you're waiting for the next wave. Nice. We'll put that on the, actually the MCP. Yeah, no, that can be on the MCP. Can it though? Yeah, it can. Wave master. Cool. So now, if I run this, in fact, you know what? Just so I can test dying as well, let's just have a context menu. Kill me. And then after decreasing that, we'll just say destroy game object. Alright, so as they spawn, the wave count goes up. Good. Let's wait till they're all spawned. That should top out at 45. It does. Now if I select this guy and say kill me, that'll run the death. You die. You die. I'm God here, I created this world and your pitiful lives, and I can take them away. Boom. So a bunch of them have died, and now, if I go back to the Wave Master, it is down to 40, and if I select them all, I guess oh yeah, there. So there's now 40 selected. So yeah, 5 of them have been destroyed, and 5 of them have been removed from the Wave Master. Just peachy. So now up here I can make some kind of public void wave start. And then public void wave end. And then I can just say void update if wave in progress and spawned enemy count equals 0, wave end, which at the moment doesn't do anything. Whatever, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, and then I can say public int current wave equals 0, and then these enemy spawners, instead of each tracking the current wave, can now just say wavemaster.instance.currentWave. God, it makes this look even messier, but trust me, it's actually cleaner in the long run. As long as I never have to look at this again, because I can tell it's only going to get more bloated as time goes on, every time I have to change something with it. So, wave master. So wave end is going to say wave in progress equals false, current wave plus plus. And then once you start, that'll be wave in progress equals true. And I guess I need some buffer for, like, right now, if I start the wave before any enemies have been spawned, this will be true, so it'll immediately end the wave. So I need some other means to make sure that does not happen. The simplest way, I guess, for now, I could just set a timer before it starts checking that, which I think I'll do that for now. Float wave start buffer equals like 5 seconds. Alright, so waves start, waves, actually, no, let's put it before this. Wave start buffer equals 5. And then update if wave in progress, wave start buffer, if wave is in progress and wave start buffer is greater than 0, then minus equals time dot delta time, count down that 5 seconds. So now you also need to check and wave start buffer is less than or equal to 0. Alright, so if the wave is going, there's no enemies, and we're already out of that buffer, end the wave. And if the wave is going and the buffer is greater than 0, count it down. So then this sets the buffer and then sets wave in progress. Lovely. Just lovely. So let's just add a little print line for testing. Starting wave, current wave. Ending wave, current wave. Let's reduce the spawn counts on these to like 3, so it's easier to clean it up real quick. And then I guess this is going to need some reference to the portals to tell them when to start spawning. Oh, actually, they can just say if wavemaster.instance.wave in progress. If that's false, then just return. Nothing in here happens if the wave isn't in progress. Peachy. Let's give this a context menu so I can just trigger it. And then in case I really want to, I can just make one for ending it, but that seems like it would break things if I end it without the enemies all being dead. Now I run this. Put this in here because I don't actually need to move around for testing this. Alright, so nothing's happening because the wave is not started. So now if I say start wave, boom, they start coming out. There's 9 of them in total. Select all of them, Actually, let's get the console up. Kill me. Ending wave 0, because they're all dead. Wonderful. We love to see that. We love to see that. Just peachy. Alright, so now we've got some basic waves. So if I were to, for example, on these spawns, say, add another wave. And then on these side ones, say none, no enemy count, so they don't actually spawn anything on the first wave. But they join in on the second wave. And then this guy just also spawns 3 guys on the second wave. So now, wave 1, 3 should spawn from the middle. Nice. Kill me. And then, wave 2. Spawn from all of them. Hell yeah. We got us some spawning shit. Fear the capsules. They come for you. They've organized. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Now what to do, if anything? What should I do next? I don't really know how long I want to go with this today, you know, because I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. But I'm having fun, as long as I can keep thinking of things that I can do while talking. So, you know, there are some game dev tasks that require too much brain power to talk while doing. Namely the things I'm not very good at. Like setting up character animations and things, hence why I'm not doing attacks right now. I guess I can at least set up the scripting side of attacks. So let's do that, yeah. Hell, why not? Alright, we're going to need another one of these. Also, let's set these defaults to what I set those other defaults. Alright, so we also want a attack range. In this case, we're going to call it 2. Maybe 2.5. F. Alright. So let's make a void attack. Nice. Very nice. So then I guess that can happen in distance check. That's kind of jank. Where do I want to check? Aggro? No. Fuck it. Make another one. Attack check. I can consolidate these if any of them ever seem to be extraneous, but for now, just slap it in there. Okay. So if not aggro, return. So don't even bother doing the attack check if I'm not aggroed. Then say if distance to player is less than attack range. Actually, I won't even need that for now, just attack. Alright, so now in stats, we need a public float attack frequency, public int attack damage. That's really just going to be printed in a log right now. It's not actually going to do the damage, but you know, it's the principal thing. It'll be needed eventually. So all that needs to do is we're going to need another timer, an attack timer. I'm just going to copy these because I'm too lazy to type them again. Float attack timer. What the hell is this? Why did you move down here? Get the fuck back up there. Alright. Float attack timer equals 0. And attack frequency defaults to 5 seconds. Attack damage defaults to 5. Sure. Alright, so attack check. Attack timer minus equals time dot delta time. And then if attack timer is less than or equal to 0, attack timer equals brain attack frequency. And then attack here. So we'll just say print attacking. And you know what? We'll say if yeah, I guess this doesn't need to only happen on aggro, because they also need to be able to attack the base. Okay. Alright, so if aggro and distance to player is attack range, attack, or if not aggro and my Pathfinder dot, let's get another thing, public float get distance to base. Or I guess we'll just say get distance to nav target. So we're going to say return my nav dot remaining distance. Yeah? Good. Okay. Alright, so Pathfinder dot get distance to nav target is less than attack range. No? Less than cannot be applied to type method group and oh right, this needs to actually call the function. Alright, so if the distance to the nav target is less than attack range, also attack. So if you're aggroed, then we want to print attacking player for attack damage. If I'm not aggroed and I'm attacking, then I want to say attacking base. Cool. Good enough test for now. Oh man, my voice is kind of dying already. I have not been talking much lately, clearly. So rusty. Oh, woe is me, my charisma, she has waned. Start the wave. Alright, fuckers. Time for y'all to start swanging. They're attacking. Oh my god, they're just spamming it. They're spamming it. Why are they spamming it? I've been attacked 11,000 times already. What happened here? So, oh, you know what? I bet I know what it is. Let's see. Project, assets. I didn't initialize the thing when I first saved it, so I bet it already initialized it at 0 attack. No, 5 attack frequency. Huh. Okay. And every time it's running attack, it subtracts the timer by the time since the last frame, and then if it's less than or equal to 0, set it back up so it shouldn't spam it, and then do the attack. I don't see what's wrong here. I don't get it. Well, I guess first we can say else. Alright, attack timer is being displayed, so let's just give that a look. Run my ass over here. Start the wave so they run their asses over to me. Select one of them so I can see their attack timer, which is currently 0 because they're not attacking. But as soon as they get on me, attack timer is never being changed from 0. Why is their attack frequency 0? Why is it 0? I just checked their prefab and it should be 5. Okay, we'll set it to 5. They also need to stop trying to push me. So let's say... oh yeah, let's do this. Okay. Back in the Pathfinder, we're gonna say float base speed, and then at start we want base speed to equal mynav.speed. So it saves what its speed is, and then we have a public bool attacking. Yeah, sure, we'll just leave it with attacking for now. I'm not sure if I want to just generic it into like a is moving one right now, but maybe not. So void update if not attacking and mynav.speed is currently 0, mynav.speed equals base speed. Alright, so if it's currently not trying to attack something, but its speed is still 0, set it back to the base speed. If attacking and mynav.speed, alright, and mynav.speed is not equal to 0, mynav.speed equals 0. Just so they stop, you know, fucking shoving me and they just actually stand in place and attack. Okay. Alright, so if aggro, attack, yeah. So I can easily set my Pathfinder.attacking equals true here, but when do I set it false? With the aggro check, right. Yeah, yeah. No, because that doesn't check with I'm in attack range. Yeah, we could just do it like this. We can just say my Pathfinder.attacking equals, and then it needs to equal, what does it need to check? What does it need to check? Aggro and distance to player is less than attack range. Yeah, it just needs to test these same things. Oh, wait. No, that's easy enough then. I already have this, duh. Doing the attack check. Alright, so I just make this an else if. Alright, so if I can attack the player, attack, else, I can do that. And then else, so any other case where it's not attacking the player or the base, we say my Pathfinder.attacking equals false. And then here it equals, actually here, that can just be in here. My headset's dying, let me plug that in real quick. Love having wires coming out of my head. My hair's losing it. Fix that. Nice. Alright. I think this works. I think this should be fine. Let's give it a go. So start wave. Run over to him. Nice. Nice. They stop shoving me. They actually try and, you know, stand in place and attack me. So good. Love it. The best part of that, though, is that I'm pretty sure that'll cover direction facing. Since they're still trying to navigate to me, but their speed is 0, I think that means they'll still turn towards me, because their turn speed is separate from their move speed. Which is nice. It's kind of hard to tell right now, since, you know, they don't have faces. In fact, let's give them a little... Let's make them a little sus. Hello? Oh, right, I'm on the scene view. I was like, why isn't this working? Duh. 3D object... Capsule, turn it sideways. Project, 3D, materials, debug. Red. Blue. Perfect. Now all is right with the world as it should be. Red is sus. Start up the wave. And isn't that just immediately more intimidating than seeing some plain white capsules running at you? In fact, let's make this guy ranged, just to test. Hello, Ike007. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for chatting for the first time. Sus is fun, I agree. Attack range, you can have an attack range of 10. You're a ranged fucker. I guess it would help if I just make them all attacked by me recently, so they'll aggro me from further. Ooh, look at me, I'm coming at ya. Nice. So they try and run up on me, and he just stands there. Ah, he doesn't, so they won't keep trying to look at me while their move speed is 0. That is a shame. What if... So they still have angular speed, so what if I just make this 0 point really small? Huh? Like, really small. Oh, is that an int? Wait, why is it... Oh, duh, because it's set in code. Ugh, sneezes. Alright, sorry about that. Let's say instead of setting their speed to 0, we say 0.001. So they're not really going anywhere, but they can technically move, so they'll still turn at me. Alright, F, F, F. Yeah, let's see if that works. Also, for now, let's just say wave master public bool start wave at start equals true, and then void start if start wave at start wave start. I don't have to manually start the wave every time for testing. I can just leave that bool on. It's kind of like a wave defense hack and slash kind of tower defense. If you ever played Dungeon Defenders or Orcs Must Die, I would describe it as like a bit of both of those. Like kind of taking elements from both, but with some key differences. Like it's more attack focused than defense. Not focused, I'd say the defenses are still going to be a big deal, but basically like you can be just an attacking badass. You don't really have to rely on defense if you don't want to. That kind of deal. Okay, so they've all been attacked recently. You are ranged. Okay, so no, they still struggle to face me. So I will have to do their facing manually during the attacks. I was really hoping the nav mesh would take care of that. Because, like, yeah, they have no speed, but they still have angular speed, so in theory they should be able to turn. Because they're still trying to target me. But, such is life. I guess not. I'll need to add, like, a turn speed for that. This is Unity. I am making this game in Unity. and then coding in Visual Studio. Let's see. So then Pathfinder, let's just set these back to 0. And then in the enemy AI base, for now, we will just say transform dot look at new vector 3 player control dot instance dot transform dot position dot x transform dot position dot y, and then player control dot instance dot transform dot position dot z. So they're going to look at the players x and z with their own y, so they won't like tilt up and down trying to look at the player's exact position. They'll just rotate horizontally to look at the player. That should do. And then give it a run. Say all these enemies have been attacked recently, so they aggro from farther. Make this guy ranged. Yeah. So for now, they're just gonna like perfectly track the players, like perfectly turn towards the player at all times while they're trying to attack. Eventually, I'll add like a limited turning speed so they don't just, you know, snap to you. But for now, this will do. Yeah, so see, like, if I kind of come from the side, they just snap to looking at me. But it's better than them, you know, attacking in the wrong-ass direction, so it's nice. I guess the alternative solution would just be, like, increase their pathfinding turn speed in general, but I kind of like it where it's at now. Feels chunky which is good for, like, a horde of enemies. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So now these sus motherfuckers will spawn, they'll attack me. If I'm far enough away, they'll go for the base. And in theory, their like stopping to attack distance thing should also work for the base. Because I set him to be basically a ranged enemy, I just gave him much more attack range than the other two, so that he can just show me what a ranged enemy would behave like. Since there's going to be a healthy mix of melee and ranged. Alright, so they all come up to their very... Oh, that guy saw me. Oh, right, no. So they're in range to attack the base, but right now they're set to always look at the player and not their actual target. Whoops. Okay, if aggro, look at player. Actually, you know what? Here. Simple enough. Actually, no, because I don't want them to only look at me while they're ready to attack. So I'll just... I mean, I'm going to need this to have curly brackets eventually anyways for their actual attack details, so I'll just do that now. But yeah, so if they're aggroed, look at me. And then if they're not aggroed, look at, instead of this, we want to look at my Pathfinder dot my nav dot destination dot x, and then that dot z. Cool. So now if they run up on the base, they should actually look at it to attack, and specifically look at where on it they are targeting. Let's just make them make this guy ranged again, and then make them all just a little bit faster. Oh, right, actually they're just going to be set back to their, they won't be set back to their base speed unless they try and attack something. Let's give them all a speed of 20. Get in here quicker. Nice. So now they're looking at their attack point and just trying to whack on the base. You know, maybe I don't even want them to look at their attack point. Maybe I want them to look at the base, like the center of the base, since some of their attack points are on the side, so they could be facing a weird way. So let's just say base.instance.transform.position.x, and then There. Okay, cool. So now they'll run up on their base. Peachy. What else can I implement now without having to deal with animations or art or anything? Hum, hum, hum. What to do. US of A, baby. America. Cali, specifically. Everybody loves a good bit of California. Except, you know, everyone who lives in California. It's kind of hell here, but better than some places. Taxes are ridiculous. But I suppose there aren't many better places to be trans. What do I do next? I guess I could make some specific enemy behaviors, like I don't know, I don't really need to change much. But prefabs, enemies, let's see. So this can be melee enemy, and then we'll duplicate him, and you can be ranged enemy. And ranged enemy can be, I don't know, like yellow or something, just to differentiate him. So ranged enemy has a default attack range of 10. Yeah. And now I can click on this fucko and say, in addition to spawning one melee enemy, you also spawn, or spawning 3 melee enemies, you spawn 1 ranged enemy with a spawn rate of 0.5, just so it doesn't spawn at the exact same time as one of the melees. And then here can also be 1 ranged enemy, and then the side portals can just be on wave 2, 1 ranged enemy. Spawn at 1.5, just vary things up a bit. Nah, screw it, make it 0.5, make them like come as like one big group of ranged enemies. Alright, so now if I run this, nice, we get 3 melee, 1 ranged. If I kill them all, the wave ends, and then we start the next end wave. That would have broken things. Alright, set that back to 1. Start wave. Nice. So they come through from everywhere now. Love it. Perfect. There's a screenshot for you. They're coming. I could tweet that. That'd be a fun result of the stream tweet. Alright. I think that's pretty good progress for like an hour and 45 minutes in the middle of the night. I think that's not bad. My voice is kind of dying, and I'm pretty tired because it is 2 a.m. now. So I think I will call it there for this little getting back into things game dev stream. Thank you for anyone who stopped by. Thank you for anyone who's chatted. I hope you've all had a good time. I'll be starting up more regular streams next week. Gonna try and get back on a schedule now that I quit my previous job that was sucking up all of my, you know, mental capacity for productive endeavors. Should be fun. Look forward to it. Playing some more games, be working more on this game. It'll be a good time. Hope to see y'all there. Bye-bye.